Alright, not that I'm really advertising for the robot shop, but I did order a set of chassis, the 2WD miniQ robot chassis kit, and I'm just going to put together a quick video on how to put this thing together because I have no documentation, which kind of sucks, but not that it's necessarily needed. But I'll go ahead and show you this this build. So when you get it, it looks like this. It's about, I think I spent $36 on it. But here you can see the wheels to kind of stabilize. Here are the motor mounts. Here's your two motors, your wheels, and your base. So that's kind of everything you need there. And yeah, there you go. There's everything that comes in the box for $35. So we'll start with the base. There's what your motors, when you open those up. You know, if you look at the base, kind of the pins to watch for are these two. You're going to screw in your wheels, or those little ball bearings, these two to stabilize it. And then here's where these two are where your motor mounts go. Here and here, and here and here. And so that's kind of the important stuff. Wheels obviously go here. Okay, and again, there's the box, there's the stuff. Then when you open the motor package, this is what it comes with. It comes with two. You only need one of these depending on your build. I'm going to use this wire set because I'll plug it into a Adafruit motor shield that doesn't have the plug-ins. It's more of a screw-in and solder type of deal. But here's your motor. Here's where you're going to hook your power. Here's your gear set and your shaft for hooking to the wheel. Okay, there's the other set with all four wire sets and both motors. And there's your motor mount, everything that's in that package of motor mounts. You got two motor mounts and 4 screws and 4 nuts. Okay, and then here's everything out of that ball bearing stabilizer kit. And got a few more screws that you need. I'll talk about that later and where you could use them, and probably I will later in the build. There's your two wheels, and if you notice, as they're kind of half moon cut, like a cotter key, if you're familiar with that kind of stuff. And I did have to break out my own kind of screwdriver kit. Looks like I used a 5/64 for this the whole build, and that's that part. And then here I'm putting in the first set of ball bearing wheels and just screwing everything. I just stuck it in there, and then I'll screw those tight so they're flush, and don't go too tight because with plastic it's easy to strip the threads. Okay, there's with both of them mounted, what it looks like from the bottom side of the robot. There it kind of shows you what I was doing to tighten those up. And again, another image. You can see where the screws just barely stick through, and I made sure I was really careful that as soon as I got flush, I stopped. Okay, and there it is from the other side. And you can see, this is the important part. There's where those two screws go, and then these two screws go for the stabilizer. You can, and I'll probably drill and put that third screw in here. We'll just see, you know, how much, you know, a 3, it's going to be a lot more stable, and you know, it can take a hit better, but I may tap those holes, screw in those other 2 extra screws there, but for now I'm not. We'll see if I need it. So then the next part is to mount the motors, and I had to go back and kind of look at some pictures, and I noticed it's very hard to really see what's going on, so I just kind of winged it. Here's your motor mount and your screws. There's your motor. And what I did is I made sure I put the screw holes, you know, there's a long gap and a short gap. I put the screw holes on the short side towards the end of the motor, and you can see I already pushed it on, and I'll show you on the next one. You can see there's a little half moon there with a flat part. Your motor has the same. It's hard to see there, but there's a flat piece there, and all you do is just push it in, and I just pushed it in as far as I could push it in. And so And there you can see it from a couple different angles. But you can see it's in there quite a ways. And then I put, you can see these two holes here. That's where the motor mount's going to mount. So I put that screw in, put on a nut, and there it is. You can see I have one nut started and the other screw pushed in without the nut. And then when I went ahead and tightened them, I made sure that there's a kind of a constant gap all the way around. That was the goal. So I slid everything in position so that we had a nice gap. The wheels aren't rubbing on anything. There, I just used my finger. I held my fingers on the nut and tightened it with the screw from the head side, and it, I just did it finger tight. I didn't want it too tight. Again, it's real easy to strip the threads on these tiny screws, and so finger tight's generally good enough. And you might have to retighten as you're driving the thing around. Then there it shows both of them mounted, both motors mounted, kind of what it looks like with the two wire harnesses that I need, or wire sets that I need for my build. And there's another image. Same thing, kind of just different angles so you can kind of see what it looks like. And then on my next video, I'm going to go ahead and give you, I'm either going to use, and I might do a video for both, but this is an old, kind of obsolete Adafruit motor mount. Here's an Auduino Uno. That's just what I'm familiar with, so what I'm going to use for my control board. I may use, I just bought these. This is the new one that Adafruit puts out, and so I may use it instead. Just a basic motor mount, or motor shield. We're looking at a 6-volt 3 AA battery pack with a positive and negative, so nothing too fancy for power. I'm going to have to do some, you can tell how high that sticks up. So if I want to stack everything in the middle, which I may not do, I don't know yet, I'm going to have to do some 3D printing and make some pedestals to mount this higher, but we'll see. I might be able to make it work where I just, maybe mount it over here for power and mount it over here for the Uno. But I'll play around with it, and that'll be the next video. Hope this helps. See you next time.